pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for this beautiful day that you gave us today, God. And thank you for just this time that's set aside tonight to come and do business for the school district. I pray that you give us wisdom tonight as we make decisions, and God, that all the decisions we make would honor you. I pray that you would just be with each one of us in this room as we go into the Christmas season. God, I pray that you would help us to remember truly what the reason for this season is, God. And I just pray for those who have lost loved ones this year, and this will be their first Christmas without them. God, I pray that you would just comfort them in this time and just be with them. God, I pray that you would help us to honor you in everything that we do. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
So we're going to call the December 11th, 2023 Huntsville Board of Education meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Welcome guests and employees. Mr. Warren, go ahead.
Okay, first, before we get started, I'd like to thank Mr. Dunlap and all the people who put together our dinner for tonight. It was very good, and we're grateful for it. First official part of our business is the consent agenda. We have the minutes for tonight. The agenda for tonight. We have the minutes from November 13th and the minutes from December 4th, and we have our district financial report. So,
are there any questions regarding the consent agenda? I'll take a motion to approve. Motion by Natalie, second by Nick. All in favor? Motion carries.
okay, going on to our special reports, tab 3. We have our faculty recognition. We have 3 faculty members to recognize tonight. And Matt, will give them their. Matt's going to hand them their awards. We had 2 different community groups that provided for us. It was
Kill Zone and Hook for Life provided these this time.
we have Kim Shaw, Becky Hepner, and Jared Henry who were selected randomly this time. They'll come on up.
Thank you. You gotta stand in front of the camera.
So I'm going to embarrass them for just one more second. Mrs. Shaw, what was submitted was, I can't read it as exactly, just because I'm not that good of a reader. This lady, she went above and beyond to give my daughter confidence in her skills and confidence in her school subjects. She is always willing to just be there for her. I have had this on several occasions. That woman needs attention. Becky Hepner. Miss Hepner is such an amazing light to her students. My kiddo had such a great year in her class, and although it took him a bit to get out of his shell, he eventually warmed up to her, and we still miss her being his teacher. I love that you got to help raise my sweet boy for a time. Mr. Henry always encourages and willing to go out of his way to make his students feel safe, love, and is a great role model. So we thank them for their time.
I know what, because I've worked with Jared and taught with, but the other 2 ladies, what do they teach?
I teach 5th grade here.
5th grade at St. Paul.
1st grade at Watson Primary.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Not in attendance, but here in picture, right above your board packet, is the winner, or the person who was randomly drawn for our attendance award. We had 529 students for the month of November who had not missed a day. They were physically present for every day of school. This is Brooklyn Zarosa, and she is at the pre-K at Watson Primary, and she was randomly selected to get one of those prizes. And as you can see, she already has her glasses on, and I think we had to stop her from putting on the socks before she put them in there.
And those teachers have those glasses too, so I
Yeah.
expect to see them wearing them.
We'll get pictures of them as well. Thank you all for coming.
And Mr. Henry, because I knew, he teaches social studies for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah.
At the middle school.
Thank you, guys.
And he helps with FCA.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, and then going on to our student achievement report.
Okay, so for the academic report tonight, I've been in some meetings and we've been talking about the accountability piece, where they get our school report card from. Each month I attend a curriculum meeting and they're trying to give us updates as they know more about what our new academic or our new school report card is going to look like and what that accountability piece is going to look like. So on that first page you have your accountability formula for K through 8. The current model, there's 17.5% for ELA math, or ELA weighted achievement, 17.5% for math weighted achievement. So those combine for 35% of our school report card. And then the ELA growth and math growth combine for 50% of our school report card. And then lastly, SQSS is 15%. So that's going to be changing in the upcoming year, which I don't think we'll get our school report card next year until spring of 2025. So we'll be waiting on that for a while. But these things are going to apply to this next round of school report cards. So you still have the 17.5% for the weighted achievement for ELA and math, combining for 35%. Science is now 5% for weighted achievement, and then 10% for science growth, and then you still have your 50% for ELA and math growth.
So when growth, does that mean they have to show like significant?
So I'll explain that a little bit. Basically what they do is they take up to 4 years prior tests, and then they try to project where that kid is going to land. And if that kid meets that or exceeds it, then we get credit for that kid. If they don't meet it, we don't get credit for them. And so OEP, Office of Educational Policy, does a lot of that for us, and they've sent a lot of information to us about all of that. And,
So they're going to use
projecting
4 years
those.
of a test that,
Up to 4 years.
up to 4 years of a test that now is not the same test. Okay.
Exactly right. Yeah. Which, I mean, is part of the reason that it's going to take so long for us to get our scores, because they're going to spend time trying to, how does this match up, and it's going to take them a while to figure all that out. So,
So if student A stays at 125 the whole time, and that's where they're projected to be, that's good.
yeah, as long as they hit that projection,
The
we're
125.
getting
Okay.
we're getting points basically for that kid for meeting that growth. So, and I'm going to talk a little more about that growth in just a minute, because when you look at that 35% for weighted achievement and 50% for growth, it looks like we would be getting more for the growth, but it's a little skewed, and I'll explain that in just a second. Okay, so on the next page you see the accountability formula for 9 through 12. Again, 35% for math and ELA weighted achievement, 50% for ELA and math growth, 15% for SQSS, and 15% for graduation rate. That's going to be changing to 20% for ELA math and or ELA and math weighted achievement, and 30% for ELA and math growth. You'll have 5% for science weighted achievement and 10% for science growth. So that science, I will say that science growth has always been in the calculations, but it's been included in the SQSS, which is only 15% of our score, and it was just a piece of that 15%. So they're breaking it out and giving a full 15% for science moving forward. And then you have 30% for post-secondary readiness, and then 5% for graduation rate. That post-secondary readiness, the next page, shows you what items will be included in that. So the first column that you see on that next page, that, yeah,
Okay.
yep, is the SQSS measure currently. And then the next column is what post-secondary will look like in 23-24. So on-time credits, ACT composite score, ACT readiness benchmark, and then AP IB, which is International Baccalaureate courses, and then concurrent credit courses. And then down at the bottom, you see CTE will be included in that as well. And I think at some point, I asked this question in our meeting, I think at some point they'll include the work keys in the work keys assessment in this as well, which determines career readiness for our kids. Any questions on that? So some of the things to note, I didn't mention this, but some of the things to notice on that is they're taking attendance out of it, which is that student engagement, because we don't have a whole lot of control over that. So they're trying to take some pieces out that schools can't really control. We try to as much as we can, but they're taking those pieces out of the school report card. They're still important, obviously, because we need kids in the seats if they're going to learn. But they're not holding us accountable for kids showing up to school.
So when they have the AP courses, not everybody takes that. So does that help us have more kids take AP courses?
It will.
Okay.
Yep.
And we have the manpower and availability for them to take the AP courses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We I think we currently have a student that's going to be real close to graduating with her associate's degree through concurrent credit courses too. So that's a big benefit for us, for sure. Okay, so the next two pages, one says growth, one says multiplier impact on range. So this is where I was talking about the growth is a little bit skewed. So in that first graph, you see the weighted achievement, and you see that scale bar on there, and you see how big that scale bar is. Well, in the growth, that scale bar is just a little bitty. Okay, so basically, that's 50% of our score, but it's not weighted the same as the weighted achievement, and so really we don't get as much credit for that growth as what we would expect to get. Does that make sense? So the state is going back and looking at that, and they're looking at changing the scale bar. And so that multiplier impact on range shows the difference with the scale bar basically just widened out to where it's a wider range. Now that also means that when kids score low, they're going to score, it's going to hurt us a little bit because they're going to have the ability to go even lower on that scale than what they had before, but they're also going to have the ability to go higher. All right. Well, that's what we've got so far on the accountability piece. Now, none of that is set in stone, but we do believe that's how it's going to come out. So we're trying to prepare for that. Obviously, last year we adopted science curriculum of 3 through 5. We're in the process of looking at that to see if that's really what we want to stick with, because we just did a 1-year contract on that. Amplify Science is the only 3 through 5 science program that is considered a high quality instructional material. HMH is under review, but we expected to see that come out this year, and it hasn't. So to be honest, we're looking at Amplify potentially for next year. So I'm going to get some samples to Kayla, and and Bruce both, and they're going to get them to their teachers, and they're going to look at those samples and go through it and give me some feedback on it. So
I appreciate this because I know when you see the school report card, you're like, oh, But there's a lot more to it than just.
There's a lot to it. And
and
really,
you
I
also haven't
mean,
explained.
I think I could sit here all night and go through the specifics of it, but it can get pretty deep for sure. So, I think that's it, unless y'all got questions.
This is all fairly new information within, I mean, at least for me, within the last week, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about more other discussions, but.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, if there aren't any other questions about that, we'll go to the superintendent reports. We have the high school transfer, or excuse me, the school transfer list. So we have 2 students on that list. Tab B is our financial projection report. We had quite a bit of revenue come in November. Which was helpful, and our expenditures were better than what we had, or at least what I had anticipated, even with giving the bonus. So that was good. It's still higher than in previous years. Don't get me wrong, but it was lower than what I had expected it to be. Overall, still on track to do pretty well for this year. And then our enrollment report, you'll see that we have gone down again in our students' enrollments to 2258, so we're at our 3/4 ADM from last year. We've had some of that in our own decision-making process, honestly, that will return in December or in January, but it's just movement. That's all there is to it. It's moving in and out of the district. Student lost here, student lost there from our enrollment, and a gain of 1 or 2 here. It just all adds up to that. And then we'll go ahead and, unless there are questions about the enrollment report, we'll go ahead and start around with our admin reports. We'll start with Ms. Hawkins over there.
Okay. So all of our 3rd graders received a gift from the Great Gift Exchange. So that was always fun. The kids love opening those. We took 63 kids on the Kiwanis shopping trip, so that was pretty successful. HIS is all decked out for Christmas. Teachers and students are loving it. So the 14th, we have our Christmas musical at 7. Everyone's working really hard on that. It's going to be Christmas at the OK Corral, so fun times. December 19th, we'll have our parent night. So we're going to have photos with Santa, crafts, elves reading, Christmas music, cocoa and cookies from 5 to 6:30. 3rd grade, I think, is doing Whoville, and 5th is doing like Polar Express, and then we're going to have everybody helping throughout the building on that. The 20th, we'll have our Eagle Rally and Christmas parties, and I think that's about a wrap before Christmas break, so.
Well, I won't say too much about it because I'm sure Tina's going to do cartwheels, but our audit is nearly over, and so hopefully this will be our last year for Esther audit. And we're finished with that.
I don't have anything new, just same, working through the program. So.
Okay, at Watson Primary last week we had our Jingle Bell Ball. That was our parent involvement in PTSO event, and it was a big hit. And
we were a little bit nervous about the entryway and just the different layout of the building and how that was gonna help, but we did some VIP parking where parents could prepay, so there was just no lines. It was really, really nice. It was a good time. Tony came with her granddaughter. I hope I can. Anyway, we also took students to the Kiwanis. For Kiwanis shopping, we served 73 students this year at Watson Primary. The Great Gift Exchange also purchased gifts for all of our pre-K through second grade students. They will take those home at their Christmas parties respectively, because that's a lot for little 5-year-olds to carry home on the bus. We have our second grade tea this Thursday at 9 and 10. So if you're in town and want to stop by the Madison County Courthouse, our second graders will be glad to carol for you. And then they'll have their program on Monday night at 6 and 7. They're split up by pods. This Friday, kindergarten's going to go ahead and do their Christmas parties this Friday, first and second next Wednesday. So it's all of the Christmas fun in the middle of finishing up all of our mid-year testing. So busy times, but fun times. And yeah, we're just not as fast as she set the bar for next year. I'm going to have to compete a little bit.
I'm good.
Tomorrow night is the high school band concert. It'll be in the activity center, and then next Tuesday is the choir concert, and it'll also be in the activity center. We've got Kiwanis shopping next week for the big kids. And then I do want to give a shout out to this person wants to remain anonymous, but this person donated $1,000 worth of Walmart gift cards for students, for gifts and or food for the families for the holidays. So I think that is a fantastic thing for this person to do. So I do want to recognize that, because that's very, very kind.
That's it?
Yeah, and Santa was at high school today.
Don't look so shocked, Bruce.
Do what?
Don't look so shocked.
Well, I'm usually following Coach Preston's. I'll start with elementary. We had our Kiwanis shopping last week. With our elementary and high school, we took 37 kids, which was amazing. And the 37 kids we took, they needed it. So really thankful for that. We took our K3 kids last Thursday to Amazium. That was my first time there. And we had a blast. That was awesome. We had a picnic for lunch out at the park. Natalie went with us. We had lots of parents there, which was a huge help. December 19th will be our Christmas parties. We're going to have our Elf the Musical production this Friday. They're going to do a 9:30 performance for the elementary and a 1 o'clock performance for the high school, and then a 7 p.m. performance for our community. So a lot of stuff going on there. Our high school kids, our seniors took the ACT work keys last week. Kendra got the scores out to the kids. They all did well. FCCLA and FFA has been on their conferences this past couple of weeks. TNTP was here last week, did a walkthrough with our K2 teachers and gave us some really good feedback, like what they saw going on in the classroom. Mary Lou, who is our person that stays in contact with us, she has a lot of really good things to say about what's going on at the elementary. So we're really pleased with that, and everybody's ready for break. I'll be honest with you. We're ready for some time off. Follow that, Coach Preston.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir. You go right ahead.
I'm going to be short, concise. My notes have been checked. I can't say anything out of line tonight after last month. But I just wanted to, just a couple things tonight. Bowling team has started competition, and our boys won their first match last week. So proud of them. And I got to go watch the very first match in Springdale, and it was fun to watch. I've never been to a high school bowling match before, so to see how they do it, and it's really interesting. And our kids had a great time, did a good job, so thankful for that and proud of them. Our cheer team competes this Saturday in Hot Springs at the state competition. I think they hit the mat at 3:30, and so we're excited for them. It's the first time in a while that our cheerleaders have competed, and so we're happy for them. Also, this past week, their mats for practicing finally got here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for working on that.
Better late than never, but they are here now, and they're in the activity center and ready to go. Basketball's rolling along here in St. Paul and at Huntsville, and I'd tell you some results, but I don't remember everything. There's 40 teams playing every night, and it's amazing how much basketball we get in here. And but all the groups have had success, and I'm really proud of them to get to watch them play and do what they do. Wanted to let you know also that after last month, I did speak briefly to Mayor Dotson, and he has some numbers together on some of the financial things we talked about for softball. And as soon as he and I can get together on a date and actually sit down, we'll discuss all that, and then I'll bring it to you once we have that. But I have spoken to him, and he's got all that stuff together. We just have to get together and meet and look down, and then I'll present that to you, what he has together, or what he has put together. And then lastly, I just want to thank St. Paul for hosting us tonight. I just want to say that I appreciate all the coaches and fans. Every time I've come down here to a game, they've made me feel at home, and have been very, very nice and very supportive. Coach Foster, Coach McBee, and Coach Dunlap, great men, and I've enjoyed getting to work with them. And you know, I brag a lot on Huntsville, and St. Paul is just as special. So thank y'all for letting us be here. So I'm done.
Thank you.
The first.
I'm working on an administrative review. My on-site team should be here starting tomorrow. They're reviewing the high school and their intermediate at Huntsville, and so I'll know their findings probably after Wednesday. So far, I've gotten compliments on what I've turned in so far, so keep that momentum rolling and we'll get good reviews.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
All right. Well, most of y'all know that I chased a water leak all Thanksgiving break, and I'm talking we chased it. We had we fixed a total of 7 in front of the high school. Every time we find one
for gold.
Yeah. Well, every time we would find one, we'd turn the water back on, and well, we dropped it some, but it's still there. And it was a lot of work, but when we finally found the one, we were able to get it fixed and get things running. Other than that, you know, we're trying to keep some of the projects going. The St. Paul kiln, I have to apologize. Finally, tomorrow, my fire company comes in and puts the radarized smoke detector in, our pull station, smoke detectors, and all that in. So we're going to be able to get, hopefully I can get our sheetrocker in here next week and get it sheetrocked. And then we're on the downhill slide, some painting and some doors, and we're pretty well done. Other than that, we're kind of planning for the future, laying out expectations for our crews and what to do, and what we expect of them on the campus level from our custodians and such. And we're starting to put plans in place for waxing and summer projects, from painting to waxing floors to, you know, whatever else might come up with the summer. So I'm trying to get ahead of that so we're not behind the 8 ball on that over the summer. But other than that, we've just been super busy.
Yep, and just bouncing off of Natasha, yes, the audit is just about complete. We are, she spent her last day on campus or in the office with us, a week ago. And so we've been emailing back and forth a little bit, just tying up loose ends, and then probably soon after the first of the year, we'll be completely done. They'll come back and, you know, tell us if we have any findings, what they are, what they expect, that kind of thing. So you guys will probably be getting something in the mail after the first of the year from them.
I just want to, next month is a little bit strange as far as board meeting dates. It's not strange, it's just strange within the school calendar. So the first is that first Monday is the January 1st, and then our board meeting is the 8th, and then we have the next Monday off. So that's just odd to me. maybe not to anybody else, but I just wanted to make that, you know, we unless there's a change, we're here on the 8th of January.
Is it gonna be down here too?
No, sir. It'll
Oh,
be at
okay.
our normal
You
spot.
said here and I.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Are we coming back? Yeah, cause it don't.
Yeah. We are still waiting on the go-ahead from the Arkansas Office of Energy and the Integrity Program. Integrity is just waiting, and we're all kind of waiting. I keep touching base with everybody, and you know, as far as changing out lights and all of that, they're still there. We're just, as soon as we get the go-ahead, we're going. So that's kind of where we are.
Wait for the government.
Yeah, sort of. And then the last thing, you know, I meet with High Jackson to kind of review their ideas and their thoughts on the baseball and just that athletic complex in general. I meet with them this week. And then that will kind of be the springboard for us to be able to plan for other aspects of just facilities in general once we get the information from them. So that's the main items that I had this month.
When do we look to like possibly maybe break ground on that? Like,
I don't know. I wish I could tell you that it would be, you know, you and Coach Harris are in the same boat because he's
We'll go play
texted me
baseball.
several times like, hey, because he sees that equipment over there that's from the Boston Mountain construction. And he goes, are they getting ready? And I'm like, no, sorry. So I wish I could give you even a timeline, but I don't have one. Really, this has to happen first. Then we go back to the Buck Vaughn Foundation with what that information looks like. Do you want this architect to proceed? They make that decision, and then we go forward.
goodness gracious.
I know.
Did we ever find anything about the pads for them stair rails in the gym?
I have not located them yet.
Is there an invoice where they were ordered?
I have not found an invoice either, but I have heard that, let me say, make sure I say this. I had heard that there was talk of them being ordered, and there was an assumption that they were.
Well, I was told by the previous man that held his job that he had them in, and
Okay.
they just needed to install them.
I'm gonna make myself
And
a
that
note
was
to follow
told
up
to
on
me,
that.
to my face, and I guarantee that's exactly what he told me.
Okay.
What's it?
In the activity center, the rails from the stairs on both ends, where you go up to the stage and then up to the end section, there's supposed to be pads ordered that would cover those rails as well.
There was a kid shoved into one last year. We thought he hit his head, but he hit his shoulder. Had a pretty extensive bruise. And when after that seen that happen, the next meeting that was brought up, and I was told that they were in, had been ordered and were in, and I haven't seen them yet. And this has been about a year ago.
I'll follow up
So-
on that in the morning and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay, that is our administrative reports. Moving on to new business. We have the approval of policy 2.5. This is the Commission School Security Officer Program, CSSO. This will allow us to work cooperatively with our SRO and our police force to help secure safety for our students. You see the policy suggested. This is a pretty typical policy for the school districts that have this program in place. You know, this allows us to have staff members be security officers at campus events and on campus during the school day. So we had 6 individuals who went through the program training, and you know, I've been hesitant to present this just personally, and it took me going through that training as well, just to be able to say I feel comfortable with what went on, because it's a daunting task for the people that are asked to do it. So I will entertain any questions about the policy itself. but we would like to propose this policy be added to our handbook, or to our policies effective immediately.
Now, the names of these personnel are not gonna be announced, right?
No, we will not. We will not announce them like through public matters, through public means. We at some point will probably discuss what this program means in a training with our staff, and at that point we haven't decided about that just yet, but right now it's not going to be made public knowledge of who these individuals are for safety concerns.
Be better off not public knowledge.
That's
I
correct.
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The 6 that are trained, will there be more in the future, or is it only going to be?
No, they have to get recertified every year through the program, through the state, and then that would happen as late as November of next year, or it might happen during the summer. It just depends on the scheduling of that with the company that provides the training, of course.
You were asking if there was gonna be more added, or
But
just if they had to
additional-
do?
There will be additional
We
people
have
trained.
plans for additional
Okay,
people.
that
as
was
well.
my question. It's just if there was going to be more.
And to start, will we have like one from each campus?
We have not initially. I think I should put it that way, and it's not. There are individuals at each district site. Is that the best? Maybe the best. There will be some here
At
at
St.
St.
Paul,
Paul and
okay.
some at
That was my
the
question, because they're the
Huntsville
farthest
location.
away from us.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
would help.
I mean, this campus was truly the genesis of the let's explore it and let's figure out if that's something that we can
Thank
do
you
here.
for that.
Are there any further questions regarding policy 2.5? I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second by Nick, all in favor?
Thank you. Item B is going along with that, and technically in the policy it's called an ERT team, an emergency response team for the Huntsville School District. We would like to approve a stipend for the individuals who have gone through this training, for them to be able to get the necessary supplies for themselves. The concept is that the school district does not purchase that. It's purchased by them. There's different aspects of it. I don't want to go into what is actually in that, but I will say that the items will be, uniform from the standpoint of the school district. We'll have, here's certain things that you can get with this stipend, and here's what it's used for. So that is a one-time stipend of $1,250 upon initial training and certification from the state, and then an annual stipend of $250, basically not for the recertification costs, but for training and other expenses that go along with that training for them. And then there are things that they will purchase out of that stipend, but then there's also the items that the district will provide for them as well. So that's not the whole cost of it, but that is how we would like to divide it up. Now, I feel like I'm talking in code, and I apologize. I don't want to be, but the less specific that we are, the better off we are in this instance for safety of the individuals who have gone through it.
So, are there any questions? Okay.
Yeah, well, I have a question. Okay, so these people are volunteering extra time and to do training for some very essential and probably a little bit scary training, and putting themselves maybe in a position where they would have to face a situation that would be scary. And we're not going to pay them anything extra?
Well, I mean,
Because you've
Yes
said
and
that
no. I
this
mean,
is
that-
for the things they're going to need and for certification and all of those things.
It is more than what that cost. After looking at it, it is more than what the cost of the equipment on the initial one. It's more of what the cost. It's more than what the cost of their supplies in the second round. We can look at after this first round if we want to up the annual part. I'm not against that, but this is what you see typically. I just put it that way, and then we just felt like this was a good initial part of it, starting point for us.
Like how much above, like the $1,250, how much above what they're going to have to purchase and?
I think that, with what we're looking at, it's about half. They would get about $650 or $600 more.
Well, I guess we can see if anybody, I just think that's like very little money for putting yourself out there on the line to, So is this, like, how many other districts did you look at that might be doing it?
Well, we've got, we trained with another district as well. They're doing something very similar to this. I talked to 2 other districts who already had it in place. I tried to make contact with another one that just it didn't work out to be able to talk
Was
to
this
them.
amount the amount that they
It varies. I mean, you see some that don't offer an annual stipend at all. Some of them don't. They're below this $1,250. Some of them are higher. So of the 3 that you're talking about, I'd say one was higher, one was lower, and one didn't offer anything after their initial stipend after that initial push. It's just kind of all over. And there are some that offer much more.
I would say in the ones I've explored, this is definitely along the lines of what I've seen other schools do. And I'd agree, the ones I'm more familiar with, they actually do not offer anything annually after the initial one.
Any other questions regarding
If there's no further questions, need a motion to adopt the ERT stipend as presented. Motion by Steve, second by Natalie. All in favor?
Thank you.
All right, so, we just kind of wanted to go over the, contract for Jonathan Warren that we are going to vote on tonight. So, his compensation is his salary plus a vehicle. I know there were some questions about him driving back and forth. The vehicle is part of his salary. That's part of the salary schedule. And so if he did not drive the vehicle, then his rate of his paycheck every month would increase quite a bit. And so we decided as a board that in lieu of doing that, we would continue to have him drive the school vehicle back and forth to work as well. So that explains that piece of it. We also lowered his contract days to 240 to be equal to the rest of the administrative staff.
And in line with people throughout the state.
Yes, and in line with people throughout the state. Is there anything else we needed to really highlight on that?
We discussed some of what in executive session.
Okay. We're gonna
Oh,
pause
I
it.
think, well, we're on this before we go to that.
Okay.
The moving and relocation, that he will still be allowed.
Yes, he'll still be allowed to live in Prairie Grove. There are extenuating circumstances with that. As a board, we did not feel that we need to make a policy to change it permanently, but we feel that it is the best fit for right now.
And I will say, I spoke to the lawyer at the School Board Association, and she pointed out that at this time, it would be hard to find somebody that you would not have to offer more money to move into the district because of the cost of housing, interest on housing, to make that big move would be, yeah, you would have to pay them more to get them to move, is what she pointed out. And she pointed out because of that and the high costs also, that people would be very reluctant to come unless they were offered a 3-year contract. And that you didn't have.
No, Mr. Warren is very graciously letting us do a 2-year contract.
Graciously. It's like from the loud.
And so I think that's the high points that people had questions on of that. And Steve, you said you would like to go into executive
Yes,
session
please.
to
Employment.
discuss the employment. Okay. We'll go back there to that. a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason. Guys, we're returning from executive session. If there's no further questions on the, regarding the
Oh,
super.
you need to say no action.
No action.
Oh, no action taken. Sorry about that. If there are no further questions regarding the superintendent contract, I'll take a motion to approve the contract as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve Huntsville further.
Don't be showing up with no black and gold on.
I do not have any, no, sir. Do not have
Either blue and gray or blue and white.
it. That's right. Oh, I wore blue for tonight specifically, and then
Well, I couldn't find.
they all
that, so
showed
I
up in
wore Ralph
red.
Baker.
I'm like, what are y'all doing? I know, except for Bruce. Bruce stayed true.
Hey, Mr. President's got
Yeah,
St. Paul's.
he does.
That's
sign
true.
on there.
Well, I meant, so the joke is, Ms. Huff and Ms. Glenn, whenever you show up here, if I'm not in blue, they let me have it. Like, they let me have it, and point it out very quickly.
Probably well deserved.
Nobody, I mean, they do everything but make it all call. So, when I showed up and they were in red, I told them. Okay, so next on the agenda is personnel. We have a list of resignations
Personnel.
and hires. Mine does not have a transfer. Does yours have a transfer?
There are no
Mine has transfers.
I'm sorry. If I can get you, we had
Mine
one.
has transfer.
At the bottom.
Yeah. It has transfer.
Yours must have. So we'll be going off of your list if you don't care. I've got it updated. That's my fault. I didn't get the right
You got
one.
transfers on the back of
We'll look it out here.
Yeah, I apologize. We'll make a copy of it for the official minute. Now I'll let you look at it so you see who that is. Okay. So I would entertain a motion to
I have
approve.
a question
Sure.
first. Was this transfer, for the certified transfer, was it at least publicized, open within the district?
No, it was from one building, it was within the building, and it was a lateral move, so no, it was not.
Well, if you remember, that's one of the things we were gonna try to always do, and they suggested every job should be posted. So that's my only, I mean, it is what it is, but I
Well,
think they all
you're-
should be posted.
Okay, we'll do that. I would say that this was it's a hard position to fill, special ed. This person's already certified. They requested to go back. It was not whenever they found out. They had already, and Ms. Roach can make sure I'm saying that right. They had already requested before this opening became available that if you ever have another opening, please let me know, consider me, so.
And
it
I
was mine.
understand that, and I understand it's a hard position, but I also understand I've gotten 2 phone calls, and not that maybe either person would have taken it, poor Tanya, but the fact that once again, we did something that was not open to everybody. And
Okay.
it's that concept, that
If those people
that
were
perception.
certified for special education, please tell them to reach out. So we can
Well,
hire them
one
for
of them
future
was.
positions.
But it was that thing, once again, like, people getting put without everybody maybe having the job posted. I don't have a problem with the person, I don't have a problem that we need, it's just that we need to make sure everybody sees it as fair to everyone.
Well, and I may be overstepping my bounds on this, but that was probably, I'm gonna take the blame for that because I interpreted the policy written that building principals have discretion to move staff within their buildings, and so I just saw it as a lateral move within my building in a position that that person had already held. So that's why I submitted the request as it was without submitting the
Yeah,
post.
and I
So
understand
that's
that, and it all
totally my
sounds
fault.
good, but it's just that perception of certain people get to move and certain, and we were told that at a training, that every position should be posted. Whether, it doesn't have to be posted for outside the district, but at least posted for everybody inside the district.
And
everybody
like I
sees
said,
it as a
I
fair
listened.
playing field.
I just read what the policy
Yeah,
said.
and I've read
that
that.
building
I've
principals have discretion,
that.
so that was my fault.
Oh, yeah, no, but I just think we need to really be aware of that we always post
It
everything.
does stir up some complaints, so let's just try to nip it, you know.
Right.
Try to remember it and nip it before it gets out of hand.
I read the policy the same way.
Yeah,
I get it.
I mean, that was my argument for that, so it's really, truly my fault.
I would like to know who those people are, though. They're special ed certified. I mean, and I'm sure Tanya would too, right? It's a hard position to fill.
Oh, no,
We'll
I understand that.
we'd like
Tanya's
to
got
have.
positions, right?
But what I'm saying is,
But
there's
I
gonna be
understand
other
what you're saying. I'm
positions.
just saying.
Yeah, so it always, just to be fair,
Okay.
just to be fair, it always needs to be, and then we won't have any problem.
We'll make sure we follow that process.
Can I get a motion to approve the personnel recommendations as presented? One by Bobby, second by Connie, all in favor?
Resignation, sorry.
I was gonna say, Susan Gurley, anybody? I'd like to thank Susan
Yes.
Gurley for the many,
Years
many
she's put
years
in,
that she
yes.
put in, and that, the important role she's played in our district throughout the years as a teacher and as a counselor, so appreciate her
And
time.
condolences to Mr. Mounce's family.
Right. So our resignations certified: Susan Gurley, HMAS, December 31st, 2023. Alma Waddell, Watson Primary Special Education, December 20th, 2023. Classified: Ronald Mounts, deceased. Transportation, November 16th, 2023. Jesse Mallett, Watson Primary Nutrition, November 17th, 2023. Ashley Jones, HMS Custodian, November 16th, 2023. Timothy Taylor, Watson Primary Custodian, December 15th, 2023. Hires, classified: Samantha Burnett, St. Paul Nutrition, 180 day, November 27th, 2023. Linda Nielsen, HMS Nutrition, 180 day, November 27th, 2023. Vicki Nolan, HHS Nutrition Worker, 180 day, November 27th, 2023. Jennifer Varnell, St. Paul Nutrition, 180 day, November 27th, 2023. Ashley Cisco, Watson Primary Custodian, 180 day, December 12th, 2023. Transfers: Sheree Meeks, Watson Primary Classroom Teacher 2, Watson Primary Special Education, 190, January 5th, 2024. Mr. Wilson, sorry about that. Thank you. And that is all I have.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Steve, second by Natalie, all in favor?
Thank you, ma'am.